But we actually have a person with us who has left the Congress, not the first and perhaps won't be the last. Ashwini Kumar is here with us, Pranoy, senior.
Right. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you. I was about to introduce you as senior Congress leader out of a force of habit, but I'll have to say now former Congress leader, which is a long list. Also, of course, someone very closely connected to Punjab. Ashwini Kumar, this kind of defeat, I mean, a defeat seemed likely, but a complete disaster.
Did you see it coming?
Did you see this coming?
Well, I don't want to pat myself on the back, but my record of statements in the last few days would bear me out. The words that I had used in one of my interviews was that AAP is a tsunami waiting to hit Punjab. And that is exactly what had happened. We all knew it would go way past 70, 75, but nobody dared to say those figures because lest you are wrong, you seem silly. But there was absolutely no doubt that AAP was the buzzword. And I said so purely on the basis of a very extensive and an intensive interaction with people in Punjab. And everyone I spoke to gave me that feedback. And therefore, I was absolutely clear in my mind that this was AAP's moment. But this is also a Congress's moment of reckoning. I don't want to gloat over its decimation. It has been my party for 46 years. I feel very sorry at one level for them. But it was a circus that was going on in Punjab for the last 3 months. And everything that could be the lowest in politics was seen as being represented by the Congress in the state. But the more important story, which I in a minute want to share with you, Pranoy and Vasu, is that AAP together with TMC are going to script the national alternative to the central pole of the BJP. The new narrative that is emerging will see the virtual decimation of Congress as a pole for an alternative political dispensation in the country. The return of BJP in Uttar Pradesh shows us that we will have to revisit our perceptions and our definitions of secularism and inclusion, and that the alternative of change is available only where there is a clearly better alternative, not a competing worse alternative. And that is what really makes these election results historic. There's an assertion of regional identity. There's an assertion of the voters' power as never before. And Punjab is a clear case in point. If Prakash Singh Badal, the patriarch of the Akali Dal, and Sukhbir Badal can lose in their backyards, it must tell us that politics in India has changed. That message Congress party has failed to learn.
What would you like to see the Congress party do? What changes will make any difference now?
Well,
name 2 or 3 things.
Pranoy, I wish I could give you a checklist. I cannot, but clearly one thing is obvious. It is so crystal clear that only the blind will refuse to see it. That the Gandhi leadership no longer delivers for the Congress. They are no longer even the cementing force of the Congress, because you see so many people very loyal to the Gandhi family, including myself. I still have great regard for Sonia Gandhi, and I keep repeating it on every television interview. I don't want to be seen as somebody who has suddenly forgotten my leader. I'm not. But she no longer has her stamp on the decisions of the Congress, and those who are in control cannot be accepted as the national alternative by a long shot. Let that be a clear
one thing would be change in leadership.
One thing possibly that for starters. But then the question is who? And I'm optimist because just as water finds its level, people find their leaders. People will find leaders. Look at Kejriwal, comes from nowhere, emerged as an alternative to a 136-year-old party along with Mamata. So the point is that India is ready for a major political transformation. These are transformative results.
Very interesting. When you say that the Congress is likely to collapse, because I'm sure all of you within the Congress who are restive and who are on the edge are in touch, what are you hearing and picking up? Is there likely to be some kind of a split? Because people have been leaving in ones and twos. Could there be something bigger in store after this?
Well, I don't know whether they leave in driplets or they leave en masse. I don't think anybody leaves en masse because everybody calculates according to their political futures. And every state has a different thing to offer to people. The realities in each state are different. But one thing is clear, that there will be, I think, only now a ragtag Congress. Congress has been decimated. It is not in the process of being decimated.
Ragtag Congress.
It's a ragtag Congress.
Yeah.
Maybe led by one or two who are the naturally entitled leaders of the Congress, and good luck to them. But anybody of any consequence will now find it extremely difficult to be in the Congress.
Okay. I had a question on that. I mean, not just for you, Ashwini Kumar, but also for Pranoy and the others, that while one talks of the decimation and the collapse of the Congress and someone else coming in, there are 200 seats where it's a straight Congress-BJP fight in the Lok Sabha, and where in every election the Congress only wins about 10%. So the BJP starts with a buffer of about 170, 180 seats. And these are seats in states like Rajasthan, in Gujarat, in Madhya Pradesh, in Chhattisgarh, where there is no other alternative party which has come up. There's no AAP, there's no Trinamool, and it can take a long time for alternatives to come up in these states. And that's why many people say that whether you like it or not, you can't have a Congress-Mukt opposition, because who is going to fight the BJP in these 200 seats?
Yeah, that's
this is the myth. This is the myth with which we have lived for the last several years.
Okay.
That there is no alternative. But this myth is being shattered increasingly with every election. The challenge for the Bharatiya Janata Party is only this. It has to extend itself in the south, and it has to extend itself in the east. Otherwise, it will remain a party of the Hindi heartland. But even so, even with its limited presence in various other states, it is by a long shot the dominant party today. And the only
Are you thinking of joining it by any chance?
No, I have not even given it a thought. I think once I know that I cannot be in the Congress anymore, and that is a clear break. What I will do next, only time will tell. I have not even given it a thought. But let me tell you, I do not intend to walk away from the public sphere.
But so you're not ruling out joining the BJP, is that right?
No, why? These are all conjectural things. Where is the talk of?
But he's not ruling it out.
Not ruling it
He's
out.
not
Okay.
ruling it. He's not saying no. He's saying it's conjecture.
It's all
know, because
conjecture.
let me tell you, one of the messages is that
a
no
euphemism
political
for-
party is a pariah. No political party is a pariah. Anybody
Okay, I
would-
think the answer is
anybody
very
who says
clear.
that would be blind.
Okay, interesting.
You could be the beginning of a trend, do you feel?
I don't know whether what will be the beginning of a trend, but Pranoy, I want to tell you, my long years in politics have told me this, that you must not test the endurance of people beyond a point. I think Congress has tested the endurance of its loyalists and of its devoted workers and leaders for a very long time. This is the end game for it. Let me tell you, I never want to write the epitaph of any party, but I'm telling you it is the end game for the Congress.
Wow.
Okay, fine.
End
Great.
game for the Congress. Okay.
Very articulately put and very interesting, and
Yeah.
most articulate was what you did not deny. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much, Ashwini ji.